What the hell is going on with the Popeyes chicken sandwich? People are killing each other for this thing.
So, Kat and I went to Orlando.
Yeah.
And then the chicken sandwich came out.
Yeah.
And everyone was talking about it at the park. And I'm like, we're surrounded by delicious food and people are talking about this sandwich. And we missed it the first time.
Yep.
And so we're on our way to Jacksonville to visit Kat's family. And we're hungry. So we said, you know what? Let's stop and get some Popeyes. And we go to Popeyes and I get in line and I look it up. I'm like, you know what? Of course, I want the spicy
of course,
chicken sandwich. And I Google and they say that the difference between the two sandwiches is that the non-spicy has mayo, seasoned mayo.
Yep.
Which I will vomit. I hate mayo. And I found out there's all kinds of things I don't like that their ingredient is mayo. And I'm like, I didn't even know it was mayo and I just hate it. I just dislike it intensely. And the spicy chicken sandwich is the exact same chicken sandwich, except instead of mayo, it's spicy mayo. And so what did I order?
It's not even like spicy breaded.
No,
it's just spicy mayo.
I ordered a 2-piece spicy chicken because I was like, you know what? I don't even want the stupid sandwich.
See, I'd be all over it. I love mayo. So
That's fine. I don't fault people for liking mayo or aioli,
yep.
which is mayo, people.
It is. But the thing that throws me off, though, is the pickles. Because I usually get pickles on the side for whenever I eat something. I don't necessarily like pickles on my sandwich. I just eat them.
You don't eat Nashville hot chicken sandwiches?
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love Nashville hot chicken sandwiches.
Especially with mayo, right?
They don't have mayo. They do have pickles, though. They always have pickles.
They always have pickles.
And I ask for extra pickles. I will have like a 30% ratio of pickle.
Popeyes is a New Orleans thing, though, isn't it? It's New Orleans chicken. So
yeah.
It's just weird. Like, that's a Nashville inspired chicken sandwich.
No, not at all.
Because pickle. Well, okay.
Well, okay. I in the South, which I go to the South a couple times a year.
Yeah.
I love food and the South loves food. So that's a good combination. They put pickles with barbecue all the time. So they'll just have pickles and you'll get pickles for free with your stuff. So I think that's where it comes from. I don't think it has anything to do with the Nashville hot chicken sandwich, but,
the coolicle, though, that's what we need to try.
the coolicle?
The coolicle, which is a pickle that has been submerged in Kool-Aid, and the water has been displaced with Kool-Aid instead. They are bright red pickles.
I will try it, but I don't think so. At any rate, people, so this is our first episode on YouTube. Back. Because we lost that YouTube channel.
Yep.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah.
And so here we are. We're back. And you can listen to us in podcast form, Dorkside News. But you're also going to be able to watch us here. And
you can see our sexy bodies now on as we hide behind a table and a microphone.
The doctor is in, so you can actually see that I am generally drinking during these podcasts. Otherwise, how could I get through it?
It's funny. Have you ever listened to a podcast and then heard that they've done YouTube, went and looked at them and be like, that's not what I thought they looked like, and then just never listened to them again? Because I hope that doesn't happen here.
I hope that doesn't happen here. I don't think so, though. I mean, I don't think that'll happen to us.
I've gotten a few times, not with me, but where I've watched podcasts or YouTube videos with someone who never shows their face, and they're like, okay, I'll show my face. And you're like, that's not what I expected at all. Case in point, MTG Goldfish. His name is Seth, and he goes by Saffron Olive. And he has a very low voice, but he can get high pitched at something. Like, you see him and he looks like a giant Viking, and you're like, that doesn't match like at all.
I have experienced that maybe a couple times. It's usually the opposite. Usually I see someone and I'm like, wow, like They look cool. They look hot. They look handsome. They look like, man, this guy is super cool. And then they have some weird voice. And
They open their mouth and you're like, Jesus.
And I'm like, I cannot listen to this person. I can't date this person. I can't anything.
So it's funny. Last week, if you listened to the podcast last week, we talked about Mindy Kaling. And there are some people that cannot stand her voice.
Man, I love Mindy.
I don't know why. I love Mindy.
Yeah.
So anyways, if you're not familiar with the show, now that we've been going, we are Dorkside News, and we do news, and then we talk about things afterwards. So we get our news out at first. Yeah. And then we talk about a topic. And we have an interesting topic.
So our news topic, and this isn't going to be on the podcast, this portion.
Yeah.
Okay. What we talk about is the need to know geeky news that you should know if you want to consider yourself a geek.
Yeah. But like if you're going to go to the water cooler tomorrow morning and someone's going to say something, you're going to be like, yeah, I know what it is.
Yep.
Because we usually try and have it first.
And the first half is us just informing you. And the second half is doing a deeper dive just about some geeky subject, answering a question, thinking about something. What does something mean? And we have a lot of guest people on that second half. So not this time.
Yeah, it's just us two. Well, we have to do, our solo return.
Yeah. Yeah. If otherwise people might be like, oh,
Gabby's there. I'm going to watch every episode. Where the hell is Gabby? She hasn't been there in 10 episodes.
So this is no bait and switch.
This is just us. This is what you get. Maybe some other people every now and then.
Yeah.
So yeah, we start with the news, and I have news. I did my copy and paste from an hour before we start the show, and I looked up news.
It was an hour and a half, people. We do hardcore journalism on this show. And with that, just so you know, we are recording, James. So this is how we start every intro.
Oh shit, we are recording. Yeah,
we are. Yeah,
recording things.
You only allowed one of those, James. So PG-13 here. So
we'll see.
All right.
Yeah, because there might be some F-bombs dropped for stuff that happens later. First off, when we start news, we start with news that I like. And I mean, it's all stuff I like. But
and then we go to the news that he doesn't like that I like. So he's bored out of his head.
Yeah. We're going to start with BlizzCon. BlizzCon happened while you were away, and we have yet to talk about it. And I would say a third of my life revolves around Blizzard and what they do. Yeah. So it needs to be talked about.
Yeah, you have really no morals.
No, I don't. It was funny too, because when the whole thing with Hong Kong was going on, I was like, I'm not going to support them at all. And then they did this, and I think every fan of Blizzard did the exact same thing I did. Well, okay.
So I don't play any Blizzard games currently. I considered deleting my account like so many other people did. Of course, they blocked the ability to delete your account. So I can kind of say that I have morals, but they didn't let me. But I just figured not giving them money.
Yeah. I will play. Right now, I'm currently playing the games that are free to play. I'm not paying for them. And I feel like that's fair because the creators had nothing to do with the Hong Kong controversy. And if you want to support them, play the games, just don't pay for them. So Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, all that stuff, just play them, but don't give them any money.
You're literally costing them money. I like it.
Yeah. It's a double whammy. No. But so the first thing they started off with was the apology. Yeah. And I don't know. Did you see it? Did you think it was enough?
I read it. And I honestly, to be fair, I actually felt like the words were pretty real. Like, most of the time I feel like game developers who get caught in these situations don't actually apologize. Yeah. And they actually literally did say, hey, we messed up.
They came out, they said, we acted too hastily. Yeah. We messed up.
I don't know if I believe them.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. So I do appreciate the apology. Yeah. But what are they going to do? Like, are they going to reverse the decision for Blitzchung? They haven't yet. They have yet to even say that they're going to do anything for that. And even more so on that, Jeff Kaplan, game director of Overwatch, has said that he wants the decision reversed on Blitzchung. He should come back. And so that's now a huge game dev that, I don't know if you're not familiar with Blizzard, Jeff Kaplan is huge in the Blizzard verse. because, he's game director for Overwatch and he communicates to his fans all the time. He will talk directly to them. And he will even sit in front of a fire for 8 hours on Christmas Day, making you think that he's going to announce something and never does. Yeah, I fell for that. That was an interesting Christmas last year.
The Blizzard developers are very cool people.
Yes.
My friend Ryan, who is a virtual reality game developer, he plays board games with Blizzard developers all the time. He eats here in Vegas, Lotus of Siam, great Thai place. He eats with them all the time, and they are super cool gamers, just like us. And just like us, they want to be good people.
Yep.
And then you have the business people who are part of the Activision takeover of Blizzard, which, I mean, that's a long time ago now. So,
yeah, we've talked about it.
Those people,
prior episode, go listen to
it. The majority of CEOs are sociopaths.
Yeah.
They're not good people by definition.
Yeah. And they don't give a shit about anything as long as it makes them money.
So I don't really believe the apology other than he's like really, really sad about the, stock price effects and stuff like that. And I'm sure he legitimately is sad about those things.
Yeah. But so on that note, let's talk about what could make them money.
Yeah.
So the very first thing, and I don't know if you saw this, but I always get super into the BlizzCon announcements because I'm very emotional when it comes to Blizzard. It sounds stupid. I've cried during trailers before. It's just how I am with them. But they did some shenanigans this year, and it was fucking amazing. They started off the countdown. I think it was at 30, I believe. And they counted down, and it got 10, 9, 8. And when they got to 5 and then 4, it paused and it stopped. And then Diablo came out, and that was the very first thing that before the keynote, before they did anything, that was the Diablo 4 announcement. The one that we were waiting for last year is what they started off with this year. So yes, they did announce Diablo 4 and the return of the Druid class, which is more important than any of the story at all because the Druid is awesome.
I love the Druid. Yeah.
The Druid is awesome. They've showed some enhancements that they're going to do, better graphics, better inventory system. I believe the Barbarian had 4 weapons at one point that he could switch between.
What I think is interesting about Diablo 4 is it really looks like what we thought Diablo 3 was going to be.
Yes.
It looks like the sequel to Diablo 2. And that's great because I love Diablo 2 and I never fell in love with Diablo 3.
It took a large portion of the play style of Diablo 2 and that's what they went with.
Yeah.
And then they took what seems like the good parts of Diablo 3 and threw them in. The bad parts, like the auction house, is no longer part of any Diablo universe now. They have completely removed that. And they said they will never do that again. That was a mistake. So the auction house is gone in Diablo, which is...
It's so funny that the ability to buy overpowered weapons made me quit playing Diablo 3 because...
Everybody had overpowered weapons?
I ground for 3 hours. And I was like, I have junk. Oh, wait, auction house. Amazing stuff. I'll just buy that thing. And I was like, wait, I don't even need to play. I literally don't even need to play. I can just keep going to the auction house.
Yep.
No. So this is great. I actually think it looks really good.
Now, hold on. The story part is important, though. So the story that we're going with now. So the trailer showed what I believe is Tyrael. I'm pretty sure it was Tyrael who was all kinds of jacked up. Like he was almost dead.
Okay.
And they kept saying that they needed 3. They need 3, they need 3, they need 3. And then finally Tyrael was convinced, mind controlled or something to become the 3rd sacrifice to bring back Lilith. Now, Lilith in the story is hugely important to the entire Diablo universe because she's the reason why you were playing the character you were playing. Okay. So Lilith is the mother of the Nephilim. Yeah. So she was the one that created sanctuaries.
And that's what's special about the champions.
Yes. The Nephilim are basically half human, half angel, half demon. Lilith being the mother of them. And I forgot I really did forget who the father was, the angel side, but yeah, half angel, half demon. And it looks like Lilith is the bad guy in this one. And she looked beastly. She had horns. She was huge. It's going to be awesome. So when they announced Lilith, people were screaming and throwing shit because it was just so cool. And she just looks huge. The graphics look amazing. The playstyle looks amazing, just like Diablo 2.
Horses.
There's horses. The druid is back, like I said, one of my favorite classes. So it's a lot to take in. So I'm excited. The next one, I went with order of importance, I think. Diablo 4 was the most important. Overwatch 2 was the next one. And I'm really freaking confused on what the hell Overwatch 2 is. The concept behind it, I love it. What's actually happening, I have no freaking clue. So first of all, the trailer was amazing. So it showed...
Now, I missed the trailer. I saw the trailer for Diablo 4. I did not see Overwatch 2.
Oh my God. Yeah, we'll show you afterwards because it was actually... I actually did start crying at one point because it was just one of those things.
I'm a little older than you, so I've spent my whole life like suppressing my emotions.
Yeah.
But I'll try to.
So, but the important parts are like, okay, so it was Winston, Tracer, May, and I think that was it. I think those are the only three that you really saw. They are going to fight some Omnics that are fighting the city, and they're trying to protect the city, even though at this point Overwatch is again no more. Like nobody wants to hear Overwatch. Overwatch is bad, yada yada yada. So they're still doing their hero thing. So they come down. Winston fucking, oh God, it's like I'm getting all emotional again.
I do like Winston.
So they're flying. The hatch opens up and Winston's like, be careful out there, or something. He says some, key catchphrase and jumps from the ship.
Yeah.
And literally jumps all the way down and falls down and basically lands on an Omnic and just completely annihilates it. May and Tracer soon follow after. They begin to commence fighting and they're losing. They're losing horribly because at this point, a giant freaking Omnic comes to the city and starts shooting everything. And when I say giant, I mean like 50 Winstons, like huge.
Gojira.
Yes. And they're losing. And at one point, May gets hit by a stray bullet or something and gets knocked against a car and is almost unconscious. Like she's there. And there's just no hope. There's literally no way that they're going to get out of this. And the giant Omnic starts raring to do a giant blast. And you hear fucking Genji's voice say whatever he says in Japanese and cuts the beam in half. Doesn't hit the Omnic yet, but cuts the beam in half and basically saves him. And then you see Mercy flying with her angel wings and grab May's hand. And it is, if you remember the first trailer from the original Overwatch, when she floats down and you see her like touch somebody it was like almost spitting image for that. But for May, like one of the favorite characters from Overwatch, it was May. So it healed her and brought her back up. And then there was, there was one other, I think there was one other one. I don't remember. But then they showed like, what can we do now against this giant Omnic? So all 5 of them are there. Oh, Tracer's there. So Tracer hooks up her pulse bomb to May's cryo tank.
Okay.
And jumps into the Omnic, like jumps towards it. The Omnic again almost shoots Tracer. Genji cuts off the freaking thing shooting the laser, so giving Tracer a free minute. She gets inside the Omnic. She then blows her pulse bomb, which then blows the cryo tank, and then she rewinds time to go back to where she was, standing right next to them. And then from the inside, the giant Omnic freezes just from inside out.
Okay.
And I was just like, holy shit. That's important because when they announced Overwatch 2, they announced that PvE is going to be a major part of this game now. And with PvE, you can level up abilities, which is something that's never been done in Overwatch before. One of the abilities they showed off was May throwing a cryo grenade, is basically what they call it.
Yeah.
So it's a grenade that she can just blow up and everybody freezes. And then they showed her when she does her ice block thing to protect herself. There is an enhancement to where you can put a point in that talent, and when you ice block yourself, everybody around you freezes, and so then you can ice block, and literally just walk away safely.
Okay. So
that was the whole like PvE side, and that was the whole trailer, and my God, it was it was so good. So then they announced, that they're going to add a new map. They're going to have a new so they say a new hero, but a lot of people are thinking 2 new heroes. Okay. So one of them that you saw was Sojourn. She's a completely new hero. We don't know really anything about her. Mm-hmm. And then Echo. And Echo is the announcer of the game who's always saying 5 minutes left, 2 minutes left. You see her flying stuff around. Oh, she was in the trailer too. You see her like grabbing people and flying around and stuff. And you're like, Jeff Kaplan's always said that Echo will be a playable character at one point. So if they're showing her off now, then she has to be soon. So it's going to be awesome. The confusing part.
Okay.
Jeff Kaplan says at one point, Overwatch and Overwatch 2 will hopefully merge into just a regular server game together.
Okay.
So am I going to pay $60 for a new Overwatch 2 game for this expansion that is eventually going to culminate into back into an Overwatch franchise?
So then are people who did not buy Overwatch 2 going to be able to play? No, they'll probably still have to purchase the PvE campaign.
Something. And then if you have Overwatch right now but didn't get Overwatch 2, what does that mean for you?
Yeah.
If you have Overwatch 2 but not Overwatch, what does that mean for you? So it's really confusing on the details of what's going to happen with this.
Do you have a date on that?
No, nothing.
I pre-ordered Overwatch 1 because if you remember back then, the idea of a Blizzard game with no ability to play single player wasn't even possible. So I didn't really understand what I was buying. I knew that there was multiplayer.
Yeah.
I just didn't know there was no single player.
Like, they'll add it in.
They'll add it, of course.
No.
So no.
They never did. And even with this PvE thing, this is still not exactly what people are asking for.
Because we want a campaign.
We want a campaign. And so,
or open world MMO thing or something,
What I'm hoping for is a single player story-driven mode.
Yeah.
This is a story-driven campaign-ish type thing, but you have to play with 3 other people. Now, it's a 4-person mandatory to play.
Now you played the single player thing with Reaper, right?
Yeah, the PvE events. Yes.
Did you like it?
Yes,
I thought it was okay.
I loved them because it was different.
It was different, yeah.
But see, the replayability wasn't there.
No, definitely not.
So I beat the mission once, and I was like, that was cool. I don't need to do it again now.
It just didn't feel very RPG like.
Yeah.
And obviously they're adding leveling up and stuff like that. I want to interact with the environment more. I don't want to just shoot stuff. So
one of the other abilities that they did show off was Tracer can level up her pulse bomb. It seems like everybody has 2 different branching or 3 different branching paths for their ultimates. And the one that they showed her was she pulse bombed one Omnic, one bad thing. And this is only in PvE that this leveling thing's happening. And then when she did that, every Omnic around them all of a sudden had pulse bombs on them, and they all blew up.
Yeah.
So there's some kind of ability to when she plants one, it hits everything around in a vicinity, and they just all blew up. I was like, whoa, that's really cool.
What I kind of hope they do something with is I really like the idea of combining abilities. So if you're going to show it off in the trailer that Tracer can use May's thing and then like run off with it, then let her do that in the game. Like build in things so that like
combo attacks. Or something.
So when you choose your team, depending on who you choose will have an effect on what you can do. I think that
oh my God, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I just remembered who the other 2 people were in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why I missed them, but Reinhardt and Brigitte. Those were the other 2. And Reinhardt's entrance tops Winston's entrance. So that was, again, when you think that they're going to die and May's like on in her last life or whatever, Reinhardt comes falling out of the fucking sky with his shield pointed down and then lands on a unit and basically just annihilates the unit.
Okay.
And so Reinhardt then stands up, picks his shield up, and then Brigitte has her shield, and they're like combo shielding, and they're, like not like father and daughter type thing, but not really.
Isn't he her trainer?
Yeah, he's a trainer. Torbjorn's her father, and it seems like there's kind of some weird love affair thing going on there, but not really. Like I can't tell if Brigitte is in love with Reinhardt or is enamored with the fact that it's the mentor type thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really weird, but them 2 together with both of their shields up, just like I was ready to flip a table and be like, yes, it was so good.
So tell us about Shadowlands.
Shadowlands is the World of Warcraft expansion. And what I say is arguably the best expansion of all of Warcraft was Wrath of the Lich King. That was my favorite.
Okay.
I love all of the Lich King story. Shadowlands starts off with Sylvanas walking into the Frozen Throne with Bolvar Fordragon, who is now the Lich King. It's no longer Arthas. And them having a conversation, yada, yada, yada. And then her eventually ripping Bolvar's helmet off, or the Lich King's helmet off. And you're like, she's going to put it on. Holy shit. Because whoever wears the crown gets to be the Lich King. Instead, she rips it in half with her bare hands, effectively killing Bolvar because he no longer has control of the thing. But setting some story mode into event where who knows what this means for the undead now.
Yeah.
Because the undead were a big part of, the Lich King, and she just basically have their power or something. I don't know. Like the crown and the Frostmourne, the sword, are very important. Yeah. She destroyed the crown. So what does this mean for the story? I have no idea. It's crazy.
What gameplay element, like there's something to do with alts or something? I heard there's something with Shadowlands that makes alts more useful, or...
Oh, I you know what? I need to look into that again, because I did read that, but I was so enamored with the trailer that and then the fact that they announced that some more racial, what do they call them? Faction races that are coming out again. There's going to have some more of those. And from what I've heard rumors, I cannot say that they're true, but there is another class from what I hear in the works. Don't quote me on it. I don't know. And then they've added, I believe the Shadowlands is the new area to go to. And they're squishing, that's what it was. The big thing, they're squishing the level cap. So the level cap, I believe right now is 110 or 120, which is some ridiculous freaking number. Yeah. They're going back to 50. They're scaling it all the way back to 50.
Huh, that's interesting.
So, and if you have a level 110, 120 character now, you are going to be, reset into the top tier level 50, of course. Yeah. But they're squishing it back down to make it so if you want to play an alternate character, leveling to 50 seems a lot easier than leveling to 120.
Because they've generally made it faster to level anyways. Yeah. Right? So, yeah.
So they're keeping the same speed to level too, but now with half the requirement to be max level.
I'm a person who, man, I love making alts.
Yes. All of my alts had some mule in the name because they were all just carrying all my shit. I never actually played half of them. They were just there to carry everything. I hate endgame. I hate it. So as soon as I would get around level 46 or so, I'd be like, because the story is so good at the first 25, 30 levels. Like if you just like look back to like the warg, the forest thing, and like the weird zombie undead thing, and like the big giant trolls thing that you get to like unlock, and you like start stomping through the village or whatever. There's like all these cool stuff. And then like around level 40 or 50, it all just dies.
You're just
off.
Grinding.
Yeah.
I hate grind.
I liked the entire, of course, I liked the entire Arthas quest line.
Yeah.
But I still think one of the more memorable dungeons and quest lines to me was, what's it? Shadowmoor? I forgot what the name of it is. But it's where you meet High Inquisitor Whitemane, the priestess chick lady. Okay. And you're going through, that's the Scarlet Library. That's what it is.
I love the Scarlet Monastery. Yeah, the Scarlet Monastery. Yeah. That's typically where I stopped. Yeah. I was like, I don't want to go any further. I was
this was the ultimate right here. Yeah. Like, I don't want to. Yeah. But yeah, so they're squishing down the stats. So now you can level faster. I have a funny story about this that I'd like to throw in real quick. When I stopped playing right after Cataclysm. That was right when they introduced Inscription, which I think that's what it was called, where you could, in artifacts, and where you can go digging for stuff and look for stuff in the ground. I was the first person on my server to have that job's special mount, which was some kind of dinosaur, I don't remember. But the funnier thing was all of my friends had played through all the story already while I was doing this. And I hit the same level cap they did at the same time, literally just doing my job. I didn't do any quests or anything because the job and because it was new gave you so much experience. I hit the level cap the same time they did, just doing this. And so they're like, let's go raid. I'm like, I have to go do the story first. I haven't done it yet. Like, how the hell did you get here without doing the quests? Like, I just did Inscription. I'm max Inscription now. So
nice.
It's funny.
All right. Hearthstone,
Descent of the Dragons. There's going to be a lot of dragons. That's
Wow.
basically it.
They totally.
No, it's really cool. So I have to scale this back. So there's 9 classes. There's always been 9 classes in Hearthstone. I believe 4 of the classes are considered quote unquote villains from the League of Evil. And then 5 of the heroes are considered heroes with the team that Reno runs. I forget what it's called. Reno Jackson runs his, team. The 4 or 5, I forget how many, evil characters are all getting a card called Galkarand, one of the dragons.
Okay.
And its ability it's called Inspire. That's a new keyword for this game, for this expansion. When you play a card that has Inspire, it will do whatever Galkarand's ability does for your class, just by doing it. So Galkarand's ability, for his Inspire ability, will discover a lackey.
Okay.
Now it's been a while since you played. Lackeys are ridiculous in the game.
Okay.
They are 1 or 2 cost minions that always have some kind of battle cry effect where it's do 2 damage, discover another lackey, give something taunt and 2 health. Like they're always good and they're all super cheap. So if you play a unit that has Inspire and you're playing, I believe it's the Rogue, discover a lackey. Okay, so you just get a free unit just for playing this card.
Okay.
And then that Inspire increases Galkarand's ultimate ability. So after you've inspired twice, you get the upgraded version of Galkarand in your deck. After you've inspired 3 more times, or 2 or 3 more times, you get the final card, which always does, like for the priest, it's resurrect 4 units and then equip a 5/2 weapon.
Okay.
Which is important because priests have never had weapons. I don't think. Unless there was a legendary weapon for the dragons. I'm wrong. So the priest did have a weapon. Every class now has a weapon, basically. But so it's always like do an ability and then it's always equip a 5/2 claw is what it's called. But it's do the ability on the first one, do a better ability, and then do the crazy good ability and equip the 5/2 claw if you inspire these units. And then even if you've done the Inspire thing and you've already played Galkarand, you can still do, from what I understand, still do the Inspire mechanic. And not only that, it changes your hero ability too. From what I understand.
Okay.
I might be wrong with this, so don't come after me if I am. It's been hard to try and get some information out because they also announced Battlegrounds, which Rich, I showed you the other day. It's called the Auto Battler. That's what they call it.
We actually watched the whole thing. As much as I think it's weirdly non-strategic, boring. I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird, but it's entertaining.
It seems like there's no strategy required, but it requires an immense amount of strategy. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. So there's all kinds of strategy involved in picking the cards, recruiting the units, leveling yourself up, and different stuff.
Absolutely.
But then there's no strategy because it goes out the window because those units attack randomly.
There's in miniature games, there's like armies like Warhammer, right?
Yep.
Where it's strategy. You're choosing where your 50 points of units fight their 50 points of units. But there's a different type of mini game that is for spaceships and planes.
Yeah.
And that seems like what this is.
Yep.
Because you secretly give commands to your units and then you turn them over at the same time and you see what happens.
Yep.
And sometimes you crash into each other and sometimes you shoot each other and sometimes you just fly off into the horizon. That seems like what this is. You try to build the best strategy as you hope, but then your units do their own thing.
They do their own thing.
Just like real soldiers.
And I've watched plenty of Battlegrounds footage now from several high streamers, very popular streamers, and all of their strategies, it seems sometime right in the middle, they flip. They're like, this strategy isn't working anymore. I'm going to go with this strategy. And lo and behold, they won. It's crazy that not only can you have a strategy from the beginning and go with it and win, but you can also, this isn't working. I'm going to flip it and still win. So it's really interesting. If you guys get a chance to look at it, Hearthstone Battlegrounds, it is super cool. It's going to be the next mode that we play for probably the next 6 months because everybody's going to want to play it. And I think there was 27 total heroes to choose from, each with their own ability that does something in the auto battle. New heroes. They're all characters from the League of Evil or from Reno Jackson's Exploration Party.
Whenever you say League of Evil, I just keep thinking Dr. Horrible.
Well, it's funny because it's the League of Evil. It's literally like the League of Evil. It means something, but I forgot what it was. And then the final thing, my game that I play constantly is getting a character. Shout out to Pallytime because he has been asking for this character for years and they finally announced it. Also, not shout out to Blizzard because Pallytime has been asking for this for years and they know, and they didn't invite him to come see it. They didn't let him play it. They didn't do anything. He has been one of the top streamers saying that Deathwing should be in Heroes of the Storm, and that he is now. He will be coming, and they never invited him to see it.
They just don't have appreciation for these people. That's why these important people like Blitzchung, they just don't give him any respect.
No. It kind of sucks, but I mean, I'm a big fan of Pallytime, and he's taking it all in stride. He's like, whatever, they have their own things they're doing. I still am excited to see Deathwing come into the game.
It looks so cool.
He is one of the weirdest characters. So I've seen him in action, and he seems, I don't know. He seemed like he was extremely overpowered when you're seeing it. And then I saw him in action. I'm like, he is not as strong as I thought, which is good because his windup is so long, right? So everybody just they just would move.
Yeah.
So his I'll do a quick rundown of what he does. His big thing is he is completely immune to any crowd control effect. He can't be stunned. He can't be silenced. He can't be slowed. Nothing. So that is going to fuck with a lot of people. So Valera can no longer silence or stun him. It just doesn't work.
Yep.
You can't freeze him. You can't do any of this stuff.
And people hate those things.
Yeah. And that's good, except for the fact that Deathwing moves like half the speed anybody else does. So he's very slow.
Yeah.
He has armor plates on him that give him 40% damage reduction based on how much health he has.
Yeah.
The more health he loses, he starts to lose these armor plates, which is exactly how the raid went when you fought Deathwing in World of Warcraft, which is awesome. So to get those plates back, you have to get your health back. So the interesting drawback to playing Deathwing is he cannot be healed by anybody.
Yeah.
So no healing effects can affect him. The only way, there's two ways, but the only way that he can heal himself is to mount up, which, you hit your Z button. And for what he does is he flies in the air and he stays there until you dismount. You can stay there.
That's his fast travel.
Yeah. You can stay there the entire game and not do anything and piss people off.
And people are going to do it.
Yep. But he can fly up in the air and sit there and he will regenerate his health and his armor plates. Now, from what I understand, he can also get his health back from regeneration orbs.
But that does not give the plates back.
Does not give the armor plates back, which is important because yes, he might have a lot of health, but if he doesn't have the 40% armor reduction, you're just gonna run through it because he's so big, so slow.
He's so slow, so big. Yeah.
Good thing he does a lot of damage. Bad thing, he has to wind up to do a lot of damage. Watching him in action, it's like a 2 second cast time for almost every one of his attacks.
On the other hand, in a good team and you have crowd control people, you're going to be so upset when you get locked in place.
And then Deathwing falls from the sky.
Yeah, and you're like,
completely annihilates you.
Yeah.
Now, so the only caveat to Deathwing coming down is he can only come down to places that you can see on the map. So if there's fog of war, you can't land there.
Yeah.
But I mean, if Chromie puts a time trap down, if someone puts something that gives him just that little bit of vision, he can come down anywhere on the map where he can see it. And that's going to be nuts.
So that means that he can probably come out behind enemy lines with an owl.
Yeah. Oh my God, if that owl was timed just right.
Well, he'd just be waiting.
Yeah.
He'd be like, you would just be like, send an owl.
Oh my God. That'd be nuts. Send the owl. Okay, I'm doing. And then all of a sudden Deathwing comes out and there's a rogue trying to take a camp or something. And they're like, oh shit, I'm dead.
Yeah.
You can't fight the Deathwing. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looks super fun. He does look very, very difficult to learn how to play though. He does, because you have to learn the wind up. You have to learn how long it takes for him to do things.
Oh, you didn't even mention that he can switch between game modes.
Oh yeah,
so combat modes.
He has a ranged attack mode, which changes 2 of his 3 attacks, his base abilities, and he has a melee attack mode, which also changes 2 of the 3 base attacks.
He always has breath weapon.
Yep. He can inhale and expel fire, and he can. The coolest one, I think there is one that doesn't take a big wind up, but it doesn't do as much damage, and it's just he pulses fire. Like you just hit a button and you're okay, I just took a bunch of damage from that. That's good.
Yeah.
So That was all of the announcements. That was a long segment. Sorry,
Is the next one a secret link?
The next one is not a secret link.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I didn't know what you're talking about here.
YouTube has a problem. I don't think I got time to show you the video, but we were watching it a little bit. Markiplier, one of YouTube's top creators, was doing a stream recently. And he has this little add-on mechanic thing where people can put emotes in the chat to basically vote which direction he goes in this game.
Yeah.
All of these people that were emoting either this one or this one to vote for the direction have had their accounts banned.
Yep.
And not just their YouTube accounts, because YouTube accounts are now attached to Google accounts. Their Google accounts have also been banned.
That's like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So literally for just posting an emote, they've lost their
And Markiplier suggested it's because it's spamming.
Yes, but it's live chat, and that's what people do in these things.
Yeah.
Twitch, Mixer, whatever you're going to do, you just...
Do you know, has Google responded to this at all?
Google has not responded to it. Google has not responded. YouTube has not responded. Markiplier has asked, currently at the time of recording, he's asked, why is this happening? They have no reason. They have no explanation. And appeals to get their accounts back have been denied. And YouTube won't even respond to that. Like, okay, why won't you give me my account back? I can understand if it was some, Google or some YouTube miscalculation. Why the hell can I have my account back? And they won't even answer that.
It's very scary for those of us who choose to do business on the internet.
When your entire life is on YouTube.
Yeah. It's so scary because people can report you for like nothing, right?
Yep.
I have a boudoir photo shoot thing. Somebody could say, you know what? I don't like Richard, so I'm going to report him for inappropriate content.
We could literally get reported right now we talked about Blizzard, and Blizzard is pissing me off.
Yeah. Blizzard employees could be like, well, we don't like their video, so they could report us. And YouTube will ignore that first report, but 100 reports, 200 reports,
they won't ignore it.
They won't ignore it, and boom, account gone.
And that's what this Reddit subreddit that I am very not fond of.
Yeah.
Called Livestream Fail has been doing recently. I don't think this has anything to do with their YouTube thing, but they've been doing it a lot. They've been going to Twitch channels and reporting this Twitch streamer for seemingly doing nothing, but because they have an idea of who this person is in their head because of that she's a female, they report them.
Yep.
Twitch instantly bans them. They have no answer.
And this type of mob mentality is effectively internet lynching, right?
Yeah.
Like they target minorities, they target women, they target anybody. Like they might target us because we're talking about it.
Yeah.
But they just pile on. And next thing you know, you got to make a new account. And I notice a lot of, especially women, they just make multiple accounts so that they're like, well, if I lose one, I'll have a lot of followers on the other one and I can build it back up.
Yeah.
And I think that's really wrong. I feel like it's an American problem. It's kind of like this social justice has been turned into a weapon by the people that social justice people were originally trying to fight. Like they're like,
well, I mean, it's obviously not a problem in China since they can't even freaking watch YouTube over there.
Russia's getting its own internet too, which is, I guess, fine. So
long story short, YouTube needs to fix their shit.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the hell they're doing, and we want an explanation.
And we're here now, so we need it to work.
Yes. And not start banning our accounts because we're talking about it. Next up is very important to me. I don't know if it's as important to you, but I mean, I can't go 24 hours without mentioning Scott Pilgrim and how amazing of a movie.
There's a few things we talk about almost every episode, and one of those things is Scott Pilgrim.
One of them is Scott Pilgrim. The other is Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
I'm only saying it now because I have to at least mention Paul Rudd every episode since we didn't do it last time. So Paul Rudd, if you're out there, come visit us.
Yeah.
We're not creepy. I promise.
He's
like, well, I was going to go, but not now. I finally got time to sit there and watch his Hot Ones too. It was so good. So funny.
Yeah. I didn't know he was vegan.
Yeah. Me either.
Yeah. I think that's super cool of them though, that they did cauliflower.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Cheesecake Factory had Korean fried cauliflower. It was as good or better than chicken. I want it.
I'm telling you, the impossible meat and substitutes are just going to start taking over. You won't even know now.
You won't even know.
Okay, so Scott Pilgrim has a Kickstarter. It is on the link if you go look at it. It is a new board game, and it looks like you are playing either one of the X's or one of Scott Pilgrim's friends or Scott Pilgrim himself, and you're just fighting each other, and it looks super freaking fun.
It does look fun. If I back this Kickstarter and my like little statues don't bounce around the board like that trailer video,
Yeah.
we have a link. You watch the video, guys, because
It's a really good video.
Yeah.
Really interesting. It does just seem like it's a kind of like a battle game, cooperative, maybe not cooperative, depending on how you play, I guess. But it looks super fun. You get to interact with the environment. You get magic spells and kicks and stuff. All the famous characters are there. Even Nega Scott was there and part in one of the expansions that's there. So yeah, go look at it. It looks super fun. That's it.
That's it.
Scott Pilgrim, go look at it. This next one is interesting. So some devs from Skyrim, Mass Effect 3, and Fallout 3, some really freaking good games, have come together and they've made a new studio called Brass Lion Entertainment.
I'm calling shenanigans.
Why?
Okay. They named their studio Brass Lion Entertainment, but they couldn't invite some developers from Fable. Lionhead Studios.
Maybe they're in there. I mean, Skyrim is, I guess, more important than Fable. I don't know, but I would say they're on equal ground. But whatever.
Well, Skyrim. I don't know. I think Skyrim is new. Like Skyrim is newer than the newest Fable.
Yes,
So that's fair.
that's fair.
That Skyrim would be better because it's newer. If there had been a Fable 4, then I would have been like Fable 4 is better than Skyrim.
Yeah, but they're coming together and they're making a new studio and they're gonna have some games come out. I expect a lot of good things from them now because that is a lot of good talent.
I think it's so cool that I think there's arcs for game development companies where they start out not that great and they make some crappy games, but they survive and then they're amazing. And you get BioShocks and you get Skyrims and you get Mass Effects and you get Fables and Fallout 3s and stuff like that. Not Fallout 4.
We were talking about that, Trev. Or Fallout 76.
And then the studio wants money. I don't know. And their games aren't so good.
Yep.
So
we'll probably see one or two good games come out of this studio before.
well, they'll probably they'll make a crappy game, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're good. These developers
Yeah.
made good games. So we might get a couple good games before
I
they
expect a lot.
get bought by Activision.
Before we move on, I didn't actually put this in the notes, but are you currently playing any video games? I know you don't have a lot of time to do so.
So this is sad, guys. I'm playing Civilization 6.
That's not sad. Civ in
I
general
love
is
it.
amazing.
I just love Civilization. There's something about 4X strategy that really appeals to me.
I still go back. We've reported on this before,
Yeah.
but when do you remember I told you about how Gandhi can become hyper aggressive and basically like nuke the entire world? I still think of that every time I think of Civ. No, I'm currently playing The Outer Worlds, which is an amazing game from Obsidian Studios and Private Division. And oh my god, it's so good.
I want to play. I might get it. I play Civilization 6 on my phone. So I was on vacation. I could have installed stuff on my laptop, but it was just convenient.
It's right there.
And it's real Civilization 6. Like it's number one, it was real cost too. It cost like buying it from the Steam store, but it was on my phone. So it was weird buying a $50 game on my phone, but it's legit. It's like the real game. So
that is interesting.
yeah.
I think that surprisingly Borderlands 3. I haven't touched it in a while. So I'm kind of let down by that. I've hyped Borderlands 3 for a long time and it was good. We're still waiting for content though. Like we're done. We've beaten it. There's nothing else there.
And that is the motivation behind these studios to not make single player games and instead to play multiplayer games.
Yep. Because they don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
The game will play itself.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I think that's okay, right? When I spend money on a movie, I'm not like sad that, that movie was only 2.5 hours. Like I was waiting for it for 6 months. No, it's fine.
Yeah. So just come up with some more content, guys. We just want some more.
That's the thing, right? You just want, like, if you knew you were getting Borderlands at the rate of Stranger Things, because Stranger Things, I binge watch in a weekend. That's fine because I'm going to get the next Stranger Things next year.
Yeah.
You're going to have to wait like 4 years for Borderlands 4 or whatever.
It's crazy too. And I mean, like I said, it's a good game. Some people had problems with the story. I thought the story was cool. I didn't like how it ended necessarily, but
I wish that they wouldn't fixate on the game engine so much. Because the game developers get bored.
Yes.
I don't care. Be bored, guys.
Well, so the big problem with Borderlands 3 right now is, and I think they've finally listened.
Yeah.
There is major flaws with the UI. There's huge, glaring issues with the UI. And they've put out 5 patches, I think, since the game has come out.
Okay.
Only fixing talents and leveling and balance issues with the characters themselves. And when people have been like, no, stop focusing on balancing our shit and fix your UI. So the current joke in one of the other podcasts I listen to is in Outer Worlds, I can hit my menu button and it goes to the menu. Like that sounds crazy, but that doesn't happen in Borderlands 3. You'll hit the menu, you'll set your controller down and go to the bathroom and then come back and it'll finally come up.
I'm just saying, as a person who manages developers in my day job, I have a big release that has 200 features being released in our software on Wednesday. And there is, I think, 17 things that are weird or kind of broken. And we've already fixed them, but it's going to go out broken. Because it takes us weeks to test.
Yeah.
So we're going to put it out.
Yep.
In 2 weeks. We'll put out those fixes that are already done. And that's just how it works because the testers need time.
No, and that's fair, but I feel like in this specific point, they didn't focus on fixing the UI first. They didn't think it was an issue.
Exactly. That you just called it. They did not think it was an issue. So they scheduled the release of the game and they said, well, okay, what do the developers do? Add these new things, fix these new things, and then it goes out and they're like, oh, there's major UI problems. And they're like, oh man, it takes us 3 months to plan a fix, build the fix, test the fix, release the fix. And then now all you guys are like, why do you keep releasing all that stuff? Well, that stuff was done 2 months ago. So yeah.
It's interesting, but let's just hope it gets fixed because I got other games that are taking over very quickly, and I cannot tell you how good Outer Worlds is. It's so good. So you guys are listening to the podcast. We're also on YouTube now, and I think you might be able to zoom in 4K, and you can see that there's a missing game up there. There is no Spider-Man up there. Jesus Christ! I keep forgetting about it.
But now you can be called out because all those games does not include Spider-Man.
We're gonna do this.
And what else is about Spider-Man, James?
What?
Spider-Verse.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna add the reminder in right now during our live cast, so I can. Spider-Verse is getting a sequel. Nobody is surprised by that.
No, I mean, we knew it was getting a sequel.
We knew it was getting a sequel because it was so damn good.
Yeah.
But we have a release date for it, which is the better news. The release date is coming April 8th, 2022. So we got some time to wait, but.
Not that long.
It's not that long.
Yeah.
And they showed Miguel is in there, so 2099 Spider-Man. And I think the Scarlet Spider was in there as well in the picture.
So what I think is interesting about this is that, to build a movie, you have to build it like kind of like a game.
Yeah.
A game with no paths. You build a bunch of tools. You build like, oh, how does Spider-Gwen's hair flow? How does the webbing flow? And they have to build all these custom shaders and they have to build all this stuff. Well, if they had said, you know what, guys, we want to build even better technology, better shaders to handle, I don't know, venom tendrils or something.
Yeah.
Then we might not have seen a sequel until 2023.
Yep.
But this is relatively, 2 years to make a movie that's
completely animated.
That's completely
100%.
That's a lot harder than filming humans. Yes. In my opinion.
Yep. I also agree. And I did point this out. We were talking about it before the podcast that it is interesting that they've announced the release date that far away so soon when video games, we reported last week, can't even get 3 months right. So they announced Last of Us coming out, and then they're like, the next week we're like, whoops, we need 3 more months. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the movies are typically done like 6 months in advance, and sometimes a year. Wonder Woman, I think, has been done for a long time.
Honestly, Spider-Verse sequel could be done within the next 6 months. Yeah. After that, it's just editing.
Well, editing and marketing.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
Well, I don't even think they need to market this movie. If you just say a Spider-Verse sequel is coming,
that's what you say, but you don't hit
$1 billion,
$1.5 billion, $2.5 billion without marketing.
It's funny because $1.5 billion seems like a lot of money. Because it is a lot of money. Because it is a lot of money. But when we're talking profits, Joker is actually the most profitable comic book movie of all time.
Of all time.
Now, this is crazy because people think that, yes, Endgame did make a boatload of money, but it also costed a boatload of money to make that movie and market that movie.
Yeah.
They spent countless dollars marketing that movie.
Literally billions of dollars marketing that movie because they wanted to hit a vanity number, right? Yep. They were like, we want to be the biggest movie of all time.
Mm-hmm. So Joker had a budget of $62.5 million, and I believe that was not including marketing. So add in a marketing budget too. And it is currently at $957 million.
Yep.
That is a lot. It's a very high percentage.
I feel I think we can trust that it'll hit $1 billion.
Yeah.
It might not hit much more than that. Because it's slowing down.
Yeah.
If you watch it, it's been slowing down. It's also the most profitable. No, ignore profit. It's literally the biggest grossing rated R movie of all time.
Yep. Beating Deadpool even.
Yeah.
That's actually a surprise considering I like Deadpool more than I like Joker.
Oh, I love Deadpool more. Man, did you like Deadpool 2 more than Joker?
Yes.
Really?
Easily.
I like Joker 1. I like Deadpool 1 more than Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 was good. I just didn't like it as much as Deadpool 1. And I don't think I like Joker. So I think I like Deadpool 2 more than Joker.
It's been several weeks now since I've seen Joker, and I still am not sure how I feel about this movie.
I know that if the movie's name was not Joker and it was about somebody mentally ill in the 80s in Chicago, I would not have ever watched this movie.
Yeah.
Ever. Nope. And after seeing this movie, I don't know that I cared that it was named Joker. And I don't know that I would have watched it. I definitely didn't watch it again, and I'm never planning on watching it again. It's done. But it was good. Artistically at a cinema level,
yes,
it was way better than Deadpool. It was, I think Logan was better than Joker because Logan almost made me cry.
I should probably watch that movie eventually soon.
Oh man, that is a comic book movie that is a art piece.
Yeah.
It is intense. It's not that much of a Wolverine movie. It really isn't. You see Wolverine all the time, but it's really this post-apocalyptic comic book. It's amazing.
Speaking of Wolverine, I think we have something planned for that, don't we?
Yeah. So we're going to do a big thing in 2 weeks to promote and interview the lead actor of the Wolverine.
Is it a fan? It's
a fan film.
Fan film.
It's a movie studio who created a studio very specifically so that if they're sued, they can continue living and making their normal movies. Yeah. So they make normal movies, but then they made a whole studio just to film this thing because they love it so much. So I can't wait. I did some BTS on there. I was on set, and I can't wait to interview him. And he has so much passion. He loves this character.
If I remember correctly, Wolverine's real name isn't Logan, right? I thought it was James Howitzer.
Oh yeah, I think it is.
So coincidentally, James playing Wolverine. I thought that was pretty fun. Not me. I'm too fat for Wolverines. But yeah, we're gonna have a Wolverine guy here, so that should be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
We also have a secret link. This is the one that you were talking about. We're not even gonna talk about it, other than the fact that there's a secret link there.
That's it.
Click
the link.
Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and She-Hulk. We've talked about them before. They seem like they're going to be a very big deal.
Yeah.
And so much so that they've already been confirmed that eventually, we don't know when, but eventually they will make it to the big screen.
Okay. So the 60s and 70s was a weird time for comic books.
Yes.
Marvel and DC were in battle. And they really wanted, like Star Wars, Star Trek, but actually fighting each other, like doing things to each other, copying each other, things like that, right? So
you have so many heroes that look like other heroes from the other side.
And villains too, right? Like Thanos and Dorkside are clones of each other. And which one's better? I don't know. Which one made the biggest grossing movie of all time? Well, that was Thanos. So, I mean, you might like Dorkside more.
I'm telling you, there's an easy way to solve that. If you want Justice League to make money, give us the mustache. That's all we're asking for.
But I think Joker could spawn something with Moon Knight, because Moon Knight is a mentally ill superhero.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, but you could also probably say that about Deadpool. Deadpool might also be a mentally ill.
But Deadpool isn't real.
Yeah.
Whereas Moon Knight, they can truly explore schizophrenia and how hard it is for somebody who believes things and they're not real. They don't align with reality.
Yep.
They could choose to go the magic Egyptian version of Moon Knight or some mixture of the two.
I feel like they're either going to do a mixture or they're just going to stay away from the Egyptian thing.
Yeah.
Just judging by what stuff I've seen. I haven't seen a lot, like a poster and maybe a screenshot, but
I love Moon Knight because I love Egyptian mythology more than I like Greek mythology.
Yes.
Like it goes Egyptian, Greek, and all the rest after that. So
Egyptians just have cooler myths. I mean, Greek myths are just about some dude who wants to fuck everything that he can in some form or another, literally as a swan or a bull or...
I respect that. So do you like any of these characters? Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk?
So at first, I didn't know anything about them.
Okay.
But over the last year or two, I've started to learn a lot more about them. And to be honest, Moon Knight is definitely at the top of I'm most curious about to see.
Marvel Batman.
Yes. Which is funny because I don't like Batman, so I'm curious to see how they do this. But to be 100% frank, I am most interested in She-Hulk because I feel like you could do a very interesting cop drama or some type of lawyer show with She-Hulk like this and still have a superhero theme to it too, which is really weird to think about.
So when She-Hulk was going to be on Netflix, the discussion was that it was going to be a procedural court drama. That was a comedy, because the comic books of She-Hulk are a comedy.
Yeah, she's funny.
She's kind of like Squirrel Girl, where they kind of, and Deadpool, where they're just not very serious storylines and they kind of crack jokes all the time. I think She-Hulk is super hot. I love the characters. I like She-Hulk interacts with Matt Murdock. I just like the whole thing. I don't know almost anything about Miss Marvel. I have no...
It's not the Miss Marvel that we've seen in the MCU either, right?
No, because it's MS.
Yeah.
Miss Marvel is the first Muslim superhero.
Yes.
I get that. And
that's the not the salutation, whatever the title is, what's throwing a lot of people off. They're like, oh, Miss Marvel. No.
I have no idea why they did this. It makes no sense.
I don't know. Okay. But yes, they are all confirmed coming for the big screen eventually, confirmed by our Lord and Savior, Kevin Feige himself. So that should be interesting to see. Some gears turning now. What could Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and She-Hulk have to do in another 5-10 year span of movies?
It said big screen, but a big screen might be little screen because it's Disney Plus.
No, they're saying it's coming to Disney Plus.
Movies.
They're going to be in movies.
Okay.
They might get their own. They might have cameos or something in them, but they will be in movies, which means that this will directly. I mean, we already knew, but it will directly connect to the MCU in some fashion.
If the MCU shows on Disney Plus do not refer to the movies and do not make cameos in the other movies, I will be calling major shenanigans.
Well, I mean, they've already done it though. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did a very good job at that.
It's first season.
Yes. The Triskelion and all that stuff that they were talking about, like, that was awesome.
But it's kind of a bad example because they have not confirmed that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually in the same universe as MCU.
They just
and it's
maybe
kind
nodded
of like,
towards it.
Yeah, because actually after season 1, there's like one more reference in the whole next 6 seasons. By all means, watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The latest season was amazing. It's really good. Next season is the last season. Really good. Honestly, guys, it is a really good show, but they don't ever make references to anything that happens in the MCU ever again.
And it was funny too, is there was supposed to be a movie for this. What happened to it? Do you remember the Inhumans movie about, what was it like?
They turned it into a mini series, and so you can watch. It's like 9 episodes on Hulu, or it was on Hulu.
Yeah, it was apparently so bad that I don't even remember what it was from. It said it was apparently so bad I don't even remember that it was a streaming thing.
Oh,
I thought it was a movie. That's how screwed up Inhumans got. I know it got screwed up.
It started as a movie and then it became a series. It's in the same universe as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because the Inhumans is a big storyline in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I watched the series. It was mediocre.
Yeah.
And they had to cut Medusa's hair because they didn't have the technology to do her hair. So
would you say it flopped?
100% flopped.
Oh, so speaking of flops, I set that one up. Terminator Dark Fate just recently came out, and it didn't do very well. As a matter of fact, it did awful.
But it was all top tier actors.
Yes.
Who are in their 70s. Well, no, I'm sorry, guys. Sorry.
Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger are pretty old.
It also had Emilia
Clarke was in, I believe she was in Genesis. She wasn't in this one.
Oh. They just had the blonde.
Yeah, it was just these two.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, it was 100 and what did we say? It was like $180 million budget.
$180 million budget to make.
And currently it's sitting at 24 million.
Yeah.
Which means they've lost lots of money on this.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So Dark Fate flopped. That's fun to say. But is it a bad movie? I mean, now, we haven't seen it yet.
We haven't seen it.
But I've heard from many reviews that this is the actual Terminator 3 sequel that people were looking for, and many are happy about it. People like it. People wanted this. It explains a lot.
Because not only is it the original actors, but it's James Cameron.
Yeah. James Cameron came back to do this stuff. And it's just weird, though, because... I mean, if you look at the link that we put in here, it's from Looper.
Yep.
And they explain it better than we could. I think it flopped because the last 3 movies did not do well. So bad, in fact, that this movie doesn't even reference any of those 3. Yeah. This is a direct sequel to Terminator 2. And basically, Genesis and whatever the other 2 were don't even count. They're not even movies. They're a different timeline. Because when you start messing with time, that's what you get to do. You get to do different timelines.
Did you ever watch the Sarah Connor Chronicles?
No.
I actually did. I actually liked it. It has
Summer Glau?
Summer Glau.
Yeah.
And I don't particularly like Summer Glau.
I do.
I don't think she's just not my type. Like I don't find her attractive. I don't like the personality she does in the shows very often.
You don't like her in Firefly?
No.
I'm just asking.
Like you had so many personable characters. It's not that I didn't think her character was interesting,
She might have been interesting had we had time to explore her.
Yeah, in the movie, I liked River a little bit more.
Yeah.
I liked River a little bit more in the movie, but whatever. But I did like the show. I thought the show was good. But again, I guess that show never happened.
No, different timeline, doesn't count.
I hate that. And so we look at the trailer. We looked at the video. You click the link in the show notes. Looks great.
It does. There was some cool parts.
Yeah.
Like she shot off the guy's, one of the Terminator's faces, like on the ground. Arnold's there. I mean,
but I have no intention to watch this movie until it comes out on Netflix.
I think I've said this before at once. This looks like one of the coolest movies I never want to see.
I'm not going to say never, because if it comes through my Netflix stream, I'll
Maybe.
see it.
Yeah.
If it's on Disney Plus, probably not.
Nah.
Because I plan on watching Disney Plus. And now I bought a year. I did. I was like, you know what? They're going to come out with enough regular content. I'll give them 1 year because it was kind of cheap. And I'll just see if I renew it or not next year. But I don't plan on watching TV shows or movies that aren't like made for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Anything made for Disney Plus, that's what I paid for Disney Plus
Yeah,
for.
of course. Not me. You know me.
I know you actually like watch those movies more than once.
Yep.
I don't, if I wanted to see it, I saw it in the theaters. Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, I feel like everybody has that type of thing where maybe you have a song that you listen to a lot because it's a song that makes you feel better. It puts you in a better mood or something like that. Or maybe you have
Sunflower.
a song that, you know, like, but for me,
I listen to Sunflower all the time.
yeah, I have a movie that if I'm having a bad day, I can go watch this movie. I know exactly how it's going to turn out because I've seen it 100 times. It'll make me feel better. I just how I am with movies.
No, that's fair.
But yeah, so Dark Fate flopped. I don't think it's necessarily a bad movie because I've heard many people say it's actually good.
Yeah.
So this is where it gets interesting. What do you consider a flop then? Obviously, a flop is when you don't make the money that it costs to make the movie. Like that's probably not good. But
if you don't care about making money, then you should make an indie film and not worry about budget.
Yep.
Or write a book.
So what's funny is Terminator Dark Fate did horrible.
Yeah.
The Joker, which we just talked about, did amazing.
Yeah.
It too also did very well. Those two movies alone could absorb the costs of whatever this was to fail. And I think it did because I think they're all the same parent company.
No, they're not.
I thought they were.
No, because Terminator Dark Fate is owned 33% by...
Oh yeah, that's the 33%. That's what, yeah.
Yeah, there's like 3 different companies that each are paying for the movie. So they're each going to absorb that loss. And so only one of them is Warner Brothers.
Oh, yeah. So, but I mean, so Warner Brothers will absorb their cost back.
Yeah, they will.
For them.
They had a good year.
When we were listening to this Looper thing though, I wanted to point out Tencent had some hand in this freaking movie. So Tencent, the Chinese company that we always make fun of for just doing whatever the hell they want, they had at least a $50 million stake in this movie because they were one of that. I just completely blew
Tencent.
Yep. So yeah.
They're everywhere. Honestly, they own a lot.
I didn't realize it's like Chinese Disney. Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
So I wanted to point this out. Terminator Dark Fate did pretty freaking bad.
Yeah.
A lot of other movies that have come out recently that look like they were going to be amazing movies all have done horribly.
Flipped. The movies they thought were going to do badly did well.
Yes.
And the movies they thought were going to do well did badly.
So I have 2 different links in this one note here. I don't know if you can see it. I tried to separate them, but it's kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
Midway and Dr. Sleep, Jojo Rabbit, Lighthouse, and Gemini. Gemini Man have all not made their production budgets. They have not made the money it took to make the movie back in sales. So that is obviously considered a flop because they've lost money.
They've lost money.
They've lost money in it. And it's surprising because, first of all, Gemini Man, you have Will Smith twice.
Yeah. I mean, Gemini Man. Okay. So wait, just a moment.
Yep.
Which, if you hadn't seen Joker, based off the trailers, would you have rather seen Terminator? If you have to see one of the two, Joker or Terminator Dark Fate? Which do you think? No. Which do you think you'd enjoy more? You chose to see Joker. You didn't choose to see Terminator Dark Fate. But which looks better?
Terminator Dark Fate.
Terminator Dark Fate. It looks better. Okay. That's fine. Gemini Man is garbage. So it flopped, but it's garbage. Now it has Will Smith in it. Why is he in a garbage movie? We don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Will Smith's all over the place. He's been doing YouTube stuff too on his YouTube channel. I don't know. He's just.
I guess he does whatever he wants now.
Yeah.
But yeah, come on. That movie is garbage.
So the interesting thing here that I like to point out, I'm honestly not surprised Midway did bad, because I think people are just tired of seeing the same war movie over and over and over again. And that's basically what Midway was. Dr. Sleep, though, is interesting that it didn't do well. And I think when we were talking about it, I think it didn't do well because it's a generational gap. It's been 30 years since The Shining has come out. And I think people are just not old enough to have seen the first one to try and see the second one and put it together.
Yeah, I doubt many people have seen Shining that are under 40.
Yeah.
And I've only seen bits and pieces, and I didn't want to see it. So I stopped watching, even though I am 40.
I have to. I haven't seen it all the way through. I know parts of it.
Yeah.
But I do have to watch it all because it is on my movie bucket list. And then the other interesting one was Jojo Rabbit. I have been talking about a few times how super excited I was for that movie. Now I'm upset that it flopped, but I did see this movie.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was hilarious. Also extremely sad for some weird reason. It just got really sad out of nowhere and unapologetically sad. So maybe that's why.
Now, your girlfriend did not give the ringing praise that you just gave it.
No, she said it was all right. She liked it.
Yeah.
She thought it was going to be better though. Now I have a slightly different sense of humor than her. I think I have at some points drier humor is funnier to me.
Okay.
And there was a lot of it in this. And I mean, like even in the trailer, you saw the kid throwing the knife at the tree and it just came back and got him in the leg. And how he gets the name Jojo Rabbit, they explain, and that's freaking hilarious. But it was interesting because maybe it didn't do well because people didn't understand the movie and it just didn't get out there. Or maybe it didn't do well because the subject matter was Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I would say that was an art piece. It was Taika Waititi's art piece that he was trying to, he considered it an anti-hate movie. That's how he was marketing it. And it really does feel like that. If you watch it, it's trying to teach you there is literally no reason to hate people. Don't.
Yeah.
And the movie right next to it, Lighthouse, is a major art piece. And to be honest, I have no idea what the hell's going on in that movie, even from the trailer. And it didn't do well either.
And that's where, like, I feel like, I don't think Lighthouse invested a bunch of money into marketing because I don't think they thought it was going to do super well. It has some cool actors. It has Glitter Batman. It has, what's the other guy?
The only role, I mean, there's two roles that people know him for. It's Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
And you might recognize him more as the Green Goblin. I recognize him more as the drag queen that was in the Boondock Saints when he was the detective who dressed up in drag to get into the house. And
that guy's crazy.
He's fucking nuts.
He's nuts.
And I love him so much. He is so crazy.
I am so excited to see Lighthouse once it comes to Netflix.
Not in the theater.
I just didn't want to see it in theater.
Yeah. I don't know. The theaters cost a lot now. They do. And I mean, I'm honestly considering getting one of these theaters here to get one of those because it just costs so much. Like if I can pay $8 a month and maybe I miss a month, okay. Oh, well, I missed a month. Some of them have rollover tickets. Oh, so now I get 2 tickets and I can take my girlfriend for free now every other month.
Yeah.
Okay. That's worth it. I wouldn't have paid to see Lighthouse in the theater, but I'm still curious about it. I still want to watch it.
I bet I would enjoy it. It's totally up my alley.
Yeah.
And somebody has sex with a mermaid. I mean, hey.
Yeah. I don't even know what's going on in this movie.
Nobody knows what's going on in that movie.
But what is going on with the box office right now? It's been like the last 2 months. There has not been anything good. Everything has been failing.
except Joker.
Except, okay, we don't talk about that one.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just, I mean, if there had been a comic book movie, it would have done well, and I would have watched it.
Yep.
I would have made sure to watch it. I think it's very...
Point in case, you've seen Joker, comic book movie, even though it really wasn't.
Even though it wasn't. I hear so many people lately that they're like, oh, I'm so sick of Marvel movies. Like, I don't want to see any more comic book movies. And I'm like, well, the movies keep doing well. And
everybody loves them.
And everybody loves them. And it's just like, I don't know what it is in some people that want successful things to fail. And it's just like, no, I'm done with it. And again, I will always put it out. There is like 30 rom-coms every year. Every year. In 10 years, there's like 300 rom-coms.
Yeah. And there's 20 Marvel movies over 10 years.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, you know what? I could do with 150 rom-coms. Let's just get rid of 150 of them, pretend they never happened, and let's add double the number of Marvel movies.
And I've heard some arguments too. They're all just the same. Oh, no. There is not a single one of those movies that is like the other movie.
Yeah.
You want to say that Thor 2 and Thor Ragnarok are the same, then you can get out of the house, because one of those is really good and one of those is really bad.
But if you pretend Thor 2 doesn't exist, which I think is what Feige does, then just compare Thor 1 to Thor Ragnarok, not the same at all.
They're not the same.
And they're both legitimately good stories.
Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, they are all sequels.
Yep.
Not the same. None of them are the same.
Yeah. So I just...
It just seems like it's a lazy excuse. Like, you want to hate something, so you're going, oh, it's the same, I don't want to watch it. And they're not the same.
Then don't watch it. If you don't like superheroes, that's fine. I really like that they're branching superheroes into other genres, because that's what we need. Just like anime has horror anime, and it has sex anime, and it has comedy anime, and it has fantasy anime. Anime is like, is just like a subgenre, or maybe it's the main genre. I don't know. I think it's like a subgenre.
I got another case in point for that. Raising Dion.
Oh, it's good. Did you watch it all?
I haven't watched it yet. I'm like, no, but I just know. That's what I'm saying. I know. It is like marketed as like it's a family movie type thing, completely revolving around superpowers and stuff like that. So it's kind of a superhero, if you want to call it that movie, but it doesn't have anything to do with that. It just has superpowers and stuff like that. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but
it's really good. There's like this, there's this subplot of the kid who has superpowers who's like, I guess I'm a superhero now. And so for maybe like 10, 12 minutes, he puts out an outfit, not distributed. Like one episode has like 2 minutes of him in an outfit, but he never becomes a superhero. He's not a superhero. It's not a superhero movie. It is like a comic book family movie though. It's so good, man. If you have a family, you'll enjoy this movie. I think if you just have feelings, you'll enjoy this movie. It's legitimately good. That little boy, he's a brat. He's believable, and at the end, you like him. I mean, you like him all the time, because just like all 8-year-olds, right? 8-year-olds are angels and terrors
at the same time.
Yeah, he might be 10. I don't know, but yeah, he's like. You're like, man, that was a brat move, but that's what he would have done.
We're planning on, the girlfriend and I are planning on watching that. It's on our list, but I have accidentally opened the door to 13 Reasons Why for her. And at first she didn't want to watch it because she's heard stuff about how brutal it can be and how, we got to the first 3 episodes of the first season, and now it's just, we need to finish this show. Let's just do it. Go.
I chose not to watch it. I didn't want to fill my brain space with negative emotions, and I just decided it's not for me.
So actually I wanted to talk about this for a second, if we have a second.
We have a second, apparently.
Season 2 and season 1 and season 2. I haven't seen season 3 of 13 Reasons Why yet. I'm getting there. We just finished season 2, I think last night or 2 nights ago. There is a very important song in both of the seasons.
Okay.
And it's called The Night We Met by Lord Huron, I think it is. I've looked it up. It's the song that Clay and Hannah danced to in the first season.
Okay.
And in the second season, it plays again. But what was so weird is I always say that music can have some profound effect on people. And that song alone, even to me, none of that stuff happened to me. But even to me, that song is powerful because it invokes the emotion I felt seeing this. But in the second season, it plays at the dance again, and Clay instantly recognizes it. Obviously, he danced to the song with Hannah. That's a very important song to him. But what was interesting is all the other characters that you start to actually kind of get feelings for. Tony specifically. Tony's one of my favorite characters. He's like, I need to find Clay, because he knows the minute that song comes on, it's not good. Something's going to happen. And so he immediately goes to find Clay and finds him with, a few of the other characters that you've grown to like, all just surrounding him and hugging him. And every time I hear the song now, I think of that scene, and it's really weird because it's extremely sad, but it's also extremely heartwarming, and it makes you feel better even though it wasn't good.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain the song, but every time I hear this song now, I'm like, I think I'm in a good mood. Like, I'm alive.
Yeah.
And that's good. Like, this song is like, even the song itself is saying, take me back to the night we met. And that was his favorite night. And like, thinking about that with my girlfriend, like, the night we met was awesome because coincidentally we met here. She says we met at the bar, but I actually talked to her here okay, so we met at the bar, but I was extremely drunk, so I don't remember that conversation. So I say here because this is the conversation that I remember. But yeah, so it's just weird how that connects. I don't know. That song, I just wanted to point out to the writers, the listener, or whoever had anything to do with that show, that was an amazing choice. That song is amazing. Thank you.
That's important. Yeah.
Music's crazy important to stuff. That's all the news we have. So we're going to do what we always do and talk about something else now. So if you were just here for the news, you can leave. You are dismissed.
There you go.
And if you want to hear us talk about secret identities, stick around because that's what we're doing right now. So you brought this up, Rich, because secret identities, we wanted to talk about them. Are they important?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like they are anymore.
Yeah. I mean, did you like that they announced Spider-Man's secret identity in the end of the movie?
So it was weird. I liked it because of the awe effect it had.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
yeah, it was like, oh,
what the?
Yeah.
Like, this is going to cause all kinds of problems. So I like that. But I'm also like, I really wish that they hadn't done that, because now what is he going to do? Is everybody, in trouble again? Like it does with every other Spider-Man movie. Like, what does this mean? So I don't know. I'm kind of on both sides.
I didn't like it because I feel like Spider-Man can't have a normal life now.
Yeah.
Right? So we won't get to see Tom Holland in college. I don't think. Maybe they will. I mean, who knows? But I just feel like realistically, it would be very difficult. And he's a criminal. Maybe Peter Parker is a criminal. Of course, he works for the government. I don't know. This stuff is weird and hard. But I just feel like we lose a lot of the best parts of Peter Parker's story. And already he's not even that much like Peter Parker. He's actually a little bit like Miles Morales mixed with Peter Parker. So at any rate, I think Tom Holland is an amazing Peter Parker that we never got to see be Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And
I don't even know why I feel like I have to point this out, but Aunt May is obviously one of the biggest characters for Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And in this version, Aunt May is extremely attractive, and it makes things really awkward for people who are not used to seeing Aunt May, 30 years old. And I don't even know if that's how old she is.
Now he has a Puerto Rican love interest.
Yep.
Who she's amazing. I wish she wasn't named Mary Jane. I just wish they said, you know what? Peter Parker loves this girl and her name can be Anita or something, whatever. And not just jam her into the role of Mary Jane, because I don't think that actress could be a supermodel.
I don't think society demands that she is not allowed to be a supermodel, which is ridiculous. I find her attractive enough to be a supermodel, but I don't think society would let her, is what I'm saying.
I think fashion models look a certain way. I think lingerie models look a certain way. I think supermodels look a certain way. Just the type of jobs, it's the kind of clothes that they're going to promote. And I don't think that MJ looks like a Kim Kardashian or something. She just doesn't have that body. And you can say that such and such girl is more attractive than a Kim Kardashian or whatever. That might not be your style. That's totally legit.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Kim Kardashian
That's
at all.
fine.
So.
I think she's hot. And I think that Kim Kardashian has like a supermodel body. But that MJ is not a MJ. She's just not MJ. But at any rate, so Peter Parker, we never get to see him be Peter Parker. He is going to do some other storyline. And I was like, okay, that bothered me when it happened. And then this month, we didn't talk about it in the news, but...
Well, this is the news.
Yeah. So there's going to be a 2-part episode where Superman announces that he's Clark Kent. Now, they've been very explicit. Superman is what he does. Clark Kent is who he is.
Yeah.
So they're not getting rid of Clark Kent. Superman will now be allowed to be Clark Kent all the time because that's who he is. He's not Superman.
Yeah.
That's just it's his job. So
does that mean we're not going to get Superman issue number 1 now? We're going to get Clark Kent issue number 1.
Well, no, because it's about the job.
Yeah.
Right. But but we're not going to get Superman as a reporter, probably. That doesn't make any sense. We're not going to get.
Yeah. Can you imagine someone coming up to you with a microphone and asking you a question? And you're like, aren't you Superman? Like, why are you interviewing me?
He's like, I'm off the clock. So then that's what made me think about it. What is going on? Where are the secret identities going? And then I thought this was very interesting because then you started listing heroes who've lost their secret identities. And this is in the show notes.
Yep.
And so obviously Tony Stark did it first.
By saying, I am Iron Man.
And I kind of thought that was, I didn't even think about it. It made sense because I don't even like Iron Man. I think he's a douche. I like him now, I guess, more.
Well, he started off as being the cocky philanthropist, playboy, genius billionaire, or whatever he calls himself.
Yeah.
And that is perfectly a good reason not to like him. But in the end, the self-sacrifice makes you can't hate him.
You can't hate. I don't hate him anymore. Yeah. The kid humanized him a little bit.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, he didn't have a secret identity, and I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Now Superman doesn't. Peter Parker doesn't have a secret identity anymore.
Nope.
Daredevil, Matt Murdock, same writer who exposed Superman's secret identity, also wrote the storyline that exposed Matt Murdock's secret identity. Oliver Queen. I'm not sure what the official status in the Arrowverse is because I missed the last season. But no,
it's come out that he's Oliver Queen, but then it's been redacted, but then it's come out, but then it's been redacted.
Basically,
so it's like
in the last season I watched, everybody kind of knew he was Arrow, but they didn't know if he was still Arrow because he was affected, like technically, like that's like he agreed to give up being Arrow. I don't really know.
And we sat here for, I'm not saying we are experts, 100% experts, but we are very knowledgeable on superheroes.
Yeah.
And between the two of us, we got 2.
Now, we're talking about A-list superheroes.
Yeah.
We acknowledge there's a lot of B and C list.
Selena Kyle and, Dick Grayson don't count in this conversation.
His secret identity came out, but he got a fake identity, I think. But because he works for the Talon, I think, or something. Like, it's like the secret super spy agency thing. I don't know, whatever. It's cool. You should read it, guys. Read Nightwing's storyline and stuff. But we obviously we don't know about all the things. And I'm just not counting because some of those B-list superheroes don't even have new comics.
Yeah.
So they're just
we just went with anything that was in the DCU, anything that was in MCU, and anything currently hitting, the comic book stands right now.
And most of them don't have their secret identity. I'd love people to comment which A-list Marvel heroes still have a secret identity
that are not these 2, because we've already thought of these 2.
Yeah. So who?
Bruce Wayne, my least favorite of all the heroes. Batman is still Batman.
Yeah.
Now, when we were talking about this, there are people that know Bruce Wayne as Batman.
I think even Joker might know.
Yeah. But not everybody knows Bruce Wayne as Batman. Not like, like Peter Parker fiasco at the end of Spider-Man, where literally everybody standing in town square now knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Like, some people might know Bruce Wayne is Batman, but not everybody.
Isn't it very weird that in the Batman Who Laughs storyline, Joker knows how to get into the Batcave. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. He just knows where he lives. And I guess there's defenses, so he can't easily get in or whatever. But yeah, it's weird.
It's just there. And then Barry Allen.
In the Arrowverse.
I
think also in the comic book line, but I didn't confirm. Because
but again, if we're talking about Flash, it always comes down to which Flash, because there's been so many.
Yeah. So, and obviously there's always people who know their secret identities, because people who come from future timelines, they know Barry Allen was the Flash because they read about it in their history books.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
Yep.
We're talking about literally they don't have a secret identity when they're alive. So Barry Allen still does. And it used to be that storylines would basically make trouble for the hero because they would have to juggle their daytime job and their superhero job, right? So Barry Allen would struggle to, do things right for the police captain. And the police captain's like, man, why aren't you giving me all the evidence I need, Barry Allen? And Barry Allen's like, man, I'm sorry, I'm just such a loser. And meanwhile, the captain's like, I love that Flash. Thank goodness that Flash is saving my day.
Which is funny because I think maybe it was Batman. There's a few other heroes that are 100% flipped. We're like, I love Bruce Wayne. He's an awesome guy. He helps out. But man, Batman is screwing up our country, and screw him and yada yada. It's funny.
So I was kind of just curious, like, why? Because I love the secret identities.
What is the movies and current comics obsession with trying to take away people's secret identities that they need? Now we put in here, are they important and are they useful?
Yeah.
Are some secret identities are not. For instance, Thor does have a secret identity.
Donald Blake. Yeah.
He's never used it. There's been a cameo joke about it that he's never used it in the MCU. In the comics he has, but it's not important because he's not even from this earth. So, but then again, Kal-El, Superman, is also not from this earth. But I think the difference is Thor is not trying to hide in our society. He knows who he is.
Absolutely.
He has no reason to hide. Clark Kent is just trying to be a normal person because he doesn't have a home to go back to. Yeah. His homeworld is gone.
And he's got family on Earth.
Yeah.
That he wants to keep safe.
Yep. And he just wants to make sure that everything's secret. Thor's family that he has is in Asgard. So, I mean, if he might have Jane Foster on Earth, but that's it.
Before Asgard was destroyed, he didn't just hang out on Earth all the time. He would go back and drink and talk about stuff back in Asgard. Yeah.
So that's where I feel like it's a little different there. But I feel like a lot of the secret identities are important.
Yeah.
And they are very useful at,
Well, wait. So are you saying useful for the hero or useful for the writer?
I would say both, but I was trying to go with hero. Useful for the hero to, to do what he wants to do as a human being, like as people want to do as humans, but still maintain, the superhero part.
They want relationships. Yes. They want to protect their family, their loved ones. They don't want people being kidnapped all the time.
Let's bring Clark Kent back into this.
Yeah.
So if Clark Kent had never been Clark Kent and he was always Kal-El, he was always Superman, everybody knew, and he wanted to try and have
from like what, like 14 years old?
Yeah, from just coming right out, everybody knew. Would it be different for him to have a love interest? Because of course, most women are going to like a superpowered being, that we consider a guy. So can he have a normal relationship as an alien versus him being Clark Kent?
So most of the guys I know in IT hide that they're in IT when they start dating because they don't want the girl to assume that they make good income. And I would imagine that if Superman was on Tinder, he would put on a different pair of glasses. He'd be like, you know what? I'm not Clark Kent right now. I'm gonna put on a different pair of glasses.
Hey, it's 2019. He might be on Grindr. Okay, let's get things straight.
No, but okay.
I'm just kidding.
Totally legit. Some superheroes can be on Grindr, but Superman likes Lois Lane, so he's on Tinder.
But again, so that poses my question: would he been able to have a normal relationship with Lois Lane had Lois Lane known from the very beginning he was Superman?
I think he'd have to lie.
Yeah.
Right. You're not going to show up on a date in a Superman outfit.
I got you some roses.
This isn't Comic-Con. Like,
I guess that's one place you could get away with it at. You could just...
Yeah. So I think they'd have to hide their abilities.
Yeah.
Which might put them at risk if you're somebody like Batman or Arrow who strongly rely on gadgets.
Yep. And they don't have superpowers or any kind of... I mean, you can be a good detective or never miss a shot, but...
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, honestly, like I would have thought somebody would have assassinated Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Because, he always can activate his armor real fast.
But can he do it faster than a bullet?
Yeah, no, he can't. So, I don't know. I just think...
But then it comes back to the supervillain, like mindset. Like, if I'm going to take out Tony Stark, I want people to know I was the one that took out Tony Stark. So I'm not going to be sneaky about it. I'm going to take him head on. And that's usually when they lose. Because they try and take Tony Stark head on.
There's not really a lot of point. The only... In a world full of superheroes, it's not like killing the superhero means now you can conquer the world.
Yeah.
Because there's 100 other superheroes who are going to just stomp you down.
And if you wanted to kill a superhero, watch The Boys, because they teach you how to do it.
I feel like we might see something go kind of interesting where superheroes and cops kind of become like, oh, if you kill a superhero, the rest of the superheroes are going to take off their gloves. They're gonna...
You're going to die today.
You're going to die. You're going to get stomped down. It might go interesting places. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, we have two opportunities to see that too. So The Boys, when season 2 comes out, we're going to see what happens there when you kill a superhero and they find out about it.
Yeah.
And then Watchmen as well. It's kind of different. It's what happens when you kill a cop or if you're...
Yeah, Watchmen really is kind of going into this exploration of, okay, well, if like in the Watchmen universe, cops are assassinated outside of the uniform.
Yep.
So cops have done maybe some bad things, and so now there's a group that assassinates cops when they find out their secret identities. So the cops wear masks.
Yep.
And the cops become a lot scarier. Like, you have this masked person, you don't know who they are. I guess you might have a badge number, I guess.
Yeah.
And from that mindset, somebody who's supposed to be helping you is wearing a mask and you don't know who they are. And if they decide that you're a criminal, right or wrong, now you've got this more powerful person who can do whatever they want to you. And they can say whatever they want after you might not be able to defend yourself.
Yeah.
So that is what the author who's doing the Superman secret identity reveal, his argument is that now in our world today, people do not trust people in masks.
No.
They don't trust people who hide their identity. They don't trust people who basically lie, saying it's for your own good. We've seen 3 years now of a president who says anything that there's evidence of is fake. It's like, wait, there's photos, there's videos.
Didn't happen.
And a marker is not enough.
I'm still laughing about that one.
And this is
what are you talking about? There's a hurricane right here. Look.
And this is not politics, right? This has nothing to do with Democrat or Republican. I know some people think it does, but it doesn't. A marker is not science. It just isn't. So you have this whole thing of, if it's real, it must be fake, and believe the conspiracies because the conspiracies must be real.
Yeah.
And so that is the argument that they're making to permanently get rid of secret identities. And they're saying Superman will not get his secret identity back. This is not going to be, I mean, obviously it's DC. So the next time they fire the president.
So I was going to say, so the key word was this Superman will not get his secret identity back. But in another universe,
But they are planning on propagating this change out to all the DC comics. So all of the DC comics that reference Superman will acknowledge that Clark Kent is Superman. So I thought that was interesting. I really would love to get some comments of what do people think about it.
Why do you, I'd like to see some comments. Why do you think movies insist on taking away people's secret
and
identities?
now comics.
And comics now too,
Yeah.
I think that was a long episode, so I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We still haven't really figured out how to do an outro yet.
We haven't.
So I think our best outro is, okay, we're done.
I would just like to add as maybe a possible outro from now on.
Yeah.
Comment, guys.
Please.
We need to know what we should do more of, what you disagree with, and what we should do less of, probably.
If you don't want a 20-minute segment on Blizzard and why they're...
You're in the wrong podcast because...
I will try and do that, but I can't promise it.
We love a couple things on this channel, and that's Blizzard, even though we hate them.
Yeah.
And we love them. And
Marvel.
And
Scott Pilgrim.
And we love them, and we love them. And Tony, and we love them and love them. And DC, we love them and we hate them. Some things we love and hate, and we'll talk about it all the time. Some things we love and love, and we'll probably talk about some things we hate and hate.
If you're a DC superhero show, you're probably safe. If you're a DC superhero comic or movie, you're probably not safe.
Even Titans. Titans is amazing.
And they just got renewed for season 3.
Yeah, which means that I now have to see it because season 2, because I thought it was going away. I thought it was going away, to be honest. And I was like, I just don't want to invest my heart in it.
Yeah. But now you got it. All right. So comment, subscribe if you haven't before. Leave us a review on any way you can. Any way you can let us know how to fix things, change things, stuff you want to hear, stuff you don't want to hear. We will gladly tailor it to you guys. We are just putting this out there right now, and we can always give you what you want later when you let us know. So let us know, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye, guys.